So today we're going to be making stuffed chiles rellenos with rice. The tools that you need for this are a knife, 2 pots, a plastic bag, a pan, aluminum foil, and a baking sheet. And it says this is no ordinary stuffed pepper. The smoky roasted poblanos are filled with spiced meat, and it's beef. I said it might be pork in my earlier video. It's beef, topped with cheese and served with a spicy tomato sauce, a HelloFresh adaptation of the classic. So this has in it 8 ounces of ground beef, 1 cup of basmati rice, half an onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 poblano peppers, half an ounce of cilantro, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of ancho chili pepper, half a cup of Monterey Jack cheese, 1 can of tomato sauce, and 1 tea olive oil. 561 calories, 48 grams of carbohydrates, 23 grams of fat, 34 grams of protein. So we're going to start off by preheating the oven to 400. I always check my oven first because my husband likes to put pots and pans in there, and he's put one of my frying pans in there. Also, my broiling pan is in the oven because I bake bread a lot, and one trick I have learned if you are a bread baker is to put your broiling pan in the oven, and as you put your bread in, fill your broiling pan with a cup of water. The steam from the water makes your bread crust really nice and crunchy. So I'm going to take that out, put it in my broiler. The next step is I'm going to bring 2 cups of water to a boil in a large pot. And for those of you who may be wondering, this is the coffee pot that I have talked about in my Tonks coffee videos. So this is what we use to make most of our coffee. Water goes in here, there's a filter, you put the coffee in here, steam rises up, this fills with water. It is tremendously dirty on the inside, as I have mentioned. My husband never cleans it. And it's tremendously dirty on the outside too, which I will probably take care of because I think it looks gross. So that's my coffee maker. So here's the bag with all of the items for the stuffed chiles rellenos with rice. I'm going to take out the 2 chile rellenos and put them on baking pan. And roast under the broiler, turning occasionally until charred all over. Actually, before I start chopping, I am going to add a pinch of salt and rice to my water because it's boiling. and I'm going to turn it down to the lowest setting and cover. And yes, my salt is in a child's cup and comes out through the straw spout because my kosher salt box got damp and the bottom started letting salt out. So I wanted to save the salt. This is also a great thing I picked up. It's a silicone lid. So when I can't find the lids that fit my pot, this is a big one, this always fits. And I'm going to check on my chilies. And turn them. They're ready to be turned. If you don't have many kitchen implements, one thing you need, tongs. Tongs are wonderful. I'm also going to recycle all of these bags. I saved all the bags that I can to recycle for my HelloFresh. And now I'm going to chop. So the recipe says to cook the rice for 20 minutes and don't peek with the lid on. I'm actually not going to cook it that long. My stove runs really hot and it's very hard to get the flame down low enough to really cook rice without burning it. So I will probably cook mine about 18 minutes so it doesn't burn on the bottom. I have also flipped my chiles again, and you can also do the chilies on if you have a gas burner. This is how, when I've taken culinary classes, they've actually had us do it. So you can do it with red peppers too. Just put them right on the burner and just keep flipping them so that they char all the way around. Just don't have the flame up too high. And now I'm going to chop half an onion. And also, I am by no means, this is sort of the home cook's version. If some of you are much more skilled chefs than I am, please in comments give suggestions, not just for me, but for anybody else watching the video. If there are better ways to do things, I would love to know them. And I'm sure there are. I don't really know what I'm doing in the kitchen. Okay, so those are my chilies. I am going to go and get those out of the oven and put them in a plastic bag to steam. And we've done that in culinary school too, put them in a plastic or a paper bag. I actually may put it in a paper bag. I feel more comfortable not thinking any plastic is getting heated into my food. So I'll grab a paper bag. I always have paper sandwich bags. Take out my chilies, pop them in. And they look beautiful. Can you see that? Yeah, they just are all charred and beautiful and nice. Pop those in.
close up my paper bag, put it right there. Shut my oven. Okay. And continue to chop my onion. So I'm not going to use this onion, so I'll actually put it in one of the HelloFresh bags that came. I'm just going to pop it right in here, put it back in my fridge. And I'm going to cut my garlic, which again came peeled, which is always lovely. Yeah, I'm not by in any way touting myself as an expert in cooking, so I would love suggestions. But I think it's also kind of nice to see somebody who's not an expert cooking and the mistakes that everybody makes. Even, again, I cook pretty often. I cook at least 3 nights a week, if not more. And I make a lot of dumb mistakes, and I do a lot of things wrong. And I do a lot of things purposely wrong because I'm lazy. So. But I did actually this time look at the recipe and realize that each of these things that I'm cutting up are all going to go in the same pan. So I can cut them on the same cutting board because I'm just going to put them all in the same pan. I'm just cutting the cilantro. I'm sure there's a better way to do this too without getting all the stem, but I don't have, so this is what you're getting. And again, I'm lazy. I'm not going to pick each of these off. And I love cilantro, so I don't mind big hunks of cilantro. I know a lot of people hate it. I think my mom says she thinks it tastes like soap, which I can't even imagine, but I have heard that from either my mom or my sister. I can't remember. But one of them hates it. Probably my mom. My sister is often a bit more adventurous in food. My mom is getting there. We're introducing her to more diverse food options, but okay, so this will go in the compost. And then that's pretty much all of the chopping that we need to do. And one other thing that I learned in culinary school, which is a great thing to know, that once the chopping's done, you can break out the wine because you won't cut yourself. So I will also get myself a glass of Beaujolais. My son just woke up, so we'll probably switch to narration here pretty soon. You are supposed to use 1 tea of olive oil, but I'm out, so we're going to use canola oil. I actually am getting a whole, like, half a gallon of olive oil from a co-op that I'm ordering with a friend. So we'll have olive oil soon, but I don't want to buy more because I know I have all that olive oil coming. So we're going with canola. 1 tea. And you just observed one reality of cooking. I turned my oven down a little bit because when my oven is above 350, it doesn't like to turn off when you turn it off. And often you have to throw the breaker in my kitchen to get my oven to go off. So I just turned it down to 350 just because basically all we have to do after this in the oven is melt the cheese. So it doesn't need to be on 400. So if you saw me turn down my oven, that's why. And I am now going to cook the onion, half an onion, 2 cloves of garlic and all but a pinch of the cilantro for about 5 minutes until it is soft. I would love to get a subscription box that sends me some kitchen implements so that I could showcase them on this video. These videos, so I'm actually looking at a few of those. I know Quarterly has, I think, a couple different kind of kitchen-related subscription boxes, but they're pretty expensive. So I haven't gotten one yet, but maybe after the new year I will invest in a Quarterly box and be able to show you guys some kitchen implements. Okay, I'm gonna peek at this. Woo! That was dumb. So, don't lift up the side of your silicone lid. Lift it up by the top and move your hand quickly or you will burn it. And run your hand under cold water if you think you may have burnt it from the steam from lifting up your silicone lid. I'm going to mix my rice here a little bit and see if I burnt it. No, it's just perfect. Let me get some of the crispy bits up off the bottom before they stick. I am known to burn myself relatively often. That's why I have this, because I have a real fear of my oven, because I do burn myself. I do stupid things and burn myself. So this makes me feel very secure, like I'm totally covered. There's no, back of my hand can't accidentally touch something. And now I'm going to get a small pot and start cooking my tomato sauce. Another one of the mistakes I make cooking, I'm very impatient. I don't want to stand here while this fries. So I'm going to get my tomato sauce going and probably mess both of them up in the process. Again, another item in a can. I've mentioned in my other video, I don't do things in cans, so I kind of wish the cans would go, but it's okay for now. My thumb really hurts. It really did burn that sucker. Okay, I'm going to put this beef in. Again, this is another little complaint I have, is it says season with salt and pepper. And honestly, since there's probably quite a few, you know, still beginning cooks like I am cooking these, I really wish they would tell you about how much is appropriate. So I'm going to get, this is the ancho chili. I'll probably use quite a lot of this because my husband likes spicy. And I don't love tomato sauce, so I probably won't use much of the tomato sauce anyway. And I'm going to put this on and simmer it for 10 minutes. And I'm going to again say season this with salt, pepper, and cumin. So a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a whole lot of cumin. Does it tell you how much cumin? 1 tea of cumin. And I'm guessing, oh, that's supposed to be 1 tea. I love cumin, so I will add this whole thing in. That did not tear well. I'm going to cut it. This smells great. Simmer until no longer pink, or cook until no longer pink. So now I'm going to peel and seed the peppers, and I already did the other one, but like you see, after you've charred them and put them in the paper bag or plastic bag, the skin just peels right off, real easy. Piece of cake. And the same thing is true if you do like roasted red peppers. And you don't have to get every little bit of skin off if you don't want. I kind of like a little bit of skin, but you don't want those really blackened, charred bits that are on there. Okay, so that's the last little bit. Okay, put that in the compost. Actually, I'm going to wait. I'm going to cut these and seed them first. They usually kind of split on their own somewhere, but it looks like this one didn't. So. Take the seeds out. I don't know, are you supposed to take the tops off? Let me see. It says to remove the seeds with a spoon gently, but you don't actually take the ends off. There we go. And this one did split naturally, so we'll just kind of cut that. And what I'm going to do is actually wash them to get the rest of the seeds out. Seems to be the gentlest way to do it.
Okay, so now I'm going to scoop the meat and onions into the chilies. And as usual, there is extra meat that doesn't fit in the chilies. So I just spooned some of that on the side of the plate. And I also did not use all of the cheese that they provided because I was trying to cut down on the calories and it just didn't seem like it needed it. So you could always cover yours with a bit more cheese or add the cheese into the leftover meat. And then I had turned the oven down a little bit, but once I sprinkle on this cheese, I'm going to pop that in the oven just until the cheese has melted. So it was only in there for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, so done with that. I'm putting the rest of the cheese in the fridge because I don't need it. And I don't think my husband added any extra cheese either. Just looking at the recipe. Oh, the recipe does say, unfortunately at the end, cover the baking sheet with foil for easy cleanup. But of course my chiles were already stuffed in on the pan at that point, so couldn't add the foil at that point. So now I just need to give that a few minutes. And then I poured some of the tomato sauce on the bottom. Put my chile with the melted cheese on top and a scoop of rice, and it was really delicious. I also made myself a plate that did not include the rice. The tomato sauce was just the right amount of spicy. The chile had a little spice in it. For someone who doesn't like spicy, you just wouldn't add as much ancho chili to the tomato sauce, but I don't think the poblano chili by itself would be too spicy for most people. And the cumin in the meat, while adding flavor, didn't make it hot spicy. So now I'm putting together my little plate. And one of the reasons I made a little plate is because I wanted to have my glass of wine. And there is my delicious meal. Thanks for watching.